What's up, man?
What's
up,
going
on,
bro?
How are you, pal?
Chilling. How are you?
Doing very good. How'd the first interview go?
Those guys were great. It was really cool. It was really chill. Yeah, it went well.
Good
I
stuff,
enjoyed it.
man. Well, we're gonna dive.
Dude,
right
I didn't
into
know you. You do. Yes, that's what I thought. You do the minute the breakdown.
I've had a good run here. The last like 4 or 5 interviews we've done. The guys have recognized me, which is a good sign. That's good for business. It's the first thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I mean that can't be a surprise.
Well, we've done the podcast for a long time. We've been here for a long time, but I haven't done anything that's quite gotten outside of our bubble the way this has, where people like yourself are recognizing it. So it's a good feeling.
You know what I love about it is that you're like a bridge to the older folks like myself, because there will be a topic that I care a little bit about, but not enough to investigate.
Right, I'll do it for you.
But I don't want to sit there and search what Tekashi 6ix9ine is doing, but I want to know. I want somebody else to break it down for me and
exactly
save me
what
all
I'll
that.
do. Yep.
So that's what you do.
That's my I like that, the bridge to the old folks. Where I know that it's like I know you're interested, but you're not either A, you're not gonna like you said investigate it, or B, you don't wanna be known as the guy who investigated it, you know. So I'll hook you up. I'll tell you. I'll give you the scoop.
But then but it's good when you're a parent of a 17-year-old son who is like super into. I mean, I'm still super into hip hop, and I'm like I listen. My playlist is like a 21-year-old, but you sort of help me be able to have conversations about topics that are relevant to him. So it's a nice.
Look at this, Kevin. I'm helping out. Wow, dad, I love it, man. That's great, man. Thanks. Look at the Tupac shirt. You really are. You're not fucking around, huh? Who's oh wow, look at that. Who's your favorite?
See this artist named Blue the Great. You can find him on Instagram and all that stuff. He does these like cool mummy things.
Yeah, I feel like I know that name. I don't know his art, but I definitely have heard Blue the Great.
You've probably seen him around. Yeah. He does some collabs with Nike and stuff, but he's a really cool artist from downtown LA.
So who's like your top 5, top 2, top 3? Give me like who your favorite hip hop
all time?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna skew more classic. Jay-Z is one of the voices I've heard most of my life. I've always said the 3 voices I've heard most of my life to this point are Howard Stern, Jay-Z, and Tom York. Like if you were to quantify, if you're gonna put together time-wise, even more than my parents' voices, I've heard those 3 voices. Yeah. So Jay-Z would be there. I'm a huge Pusha T fan. I'm a huge Lil Wayne fan.
So do you get into the new shit? I'm like such an old man when it comes to rap, where I'm like, they don't make them like they used to, and I can't seem to get into like all the new waves, the trap music and the mumble rap. Like, it just never really resonated with me.
I do because I love a good beat, and like my son now is producing music. Oh wow! And I like so like I still like the young stuff. I don't know why. I love innovation, and I think one of the reasons why at my advanced age I've managed to stay somewhat young is that I'm always I'm curious about what the next thing is, whether it's in music, whether it's in film, whether it's in how we digest media. I find so many people get scared or sort of put off as they get older by things changing. I mean, we certainly see that politically, and I don't know. I want to know what the next wave is. I've always been curious about what's coming next. And I think that now we're in this era where so many things are reset from a societal standpoint. I'm curious about that, man. I'm curious about the rebuild. I'm curious about the way things change shape, And so I have friends, in the music industry. Like one of my best friends is a manager, and he represents Tyler, the Creator, and Brockhampton, and he's really anti brand new trap and new hip hop, and I don't know. It gets me going. Like, it gets me excited.
I wish it was that way. It doesn't. I'm definitely, like I said, the old man about it. But do you know who I think is who's next and going to be part of the rebuild and isn't afraid? And I know you're down with this guy. Is Tim Dillon.
Oh yeah,
Tim Dillon's the fucking man.
He's a force of nature, dude. I find the guy brilliant on multiple levels, but his ability to speak, there's something Chappelle-esque about his command of the language, of the stage, his confidence. Even when you listen to his podcast, like he's just spitting, man.
Yeah, he just goes. That's solo shit. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes.
It's just crazy. He can just like an hour and a half just talking nonstop. It's crazy.
It's very hard to do.
And it's entertaining throughout. And he doesn't. I mean, he repeats themes certainly, but there's always like a new kernel. And I'm super excited because he invited me to his Friendsgiving next week.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I should come back on and give you a recap.
Yeah, please. I need the inside scoop on what goes on at the Tim Dillon Friendsgiving.
But he and I have never met in person yet, and that'll be the first night we do. But we talk a lot on messages. And what's so funny to me is like I've been a pretty much kind of a ground floor fan of his. I love alt comedy, dude. I love the weirder the better, the darker the better for me. Yep. It's just like that's what I respect.
Where are you from?
You're from
I was
Philly,
born
right?
in Delaware, but I grew up in like the Philly area.
Okay, because I feel like, I'm from New York and he's like a Long Island guy, but I feel like even just being an East Coast guy, you can kind of relate more to just like that. He's angry and he's a little bit dark and he's just like, fuck off. And like, if you're not.
There's so much connective tissue, even as much as like I grew up lower middle class. When he talks on the East Coast, when he talks about his family, I feel like he's talking about mine.
It's incredible.
It's so relatable and so specific to the region a lot of the time, and that's what's fun about him being out here in that whole fish out of water and seeing him bounce around from different property to property, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. Him being out in the desert
and in LA is just such a funny like dichotomy. It just makes no fucking sense. But he also he brought the downfall. It's like he showed up and LA crumbled.
Yeah. It's interesting to see people sort of start to wake up to him or take to him. And he could be a very polarizing comedian too. In this age of how soft everybody is, it's going to be interesting.
I mean,
to see.
When he was on Alex Jones, didn't he wear a free Ghislaine shirt? He can be polarizing.
Yeah, I'd say so. Oddly enough, though, he had an episode on his Patreon show where he interviewed a author who wrote a book all about people who disappear, who are like kidnapped or disappear or get murdered in like national parks or out in like the Pacific Northwest.
I remember that.
Like these wilderness areas, which I feel like is kind of what goes on in Big Sky, right? It's like these two girls disappear on the road at like a truck stop, kind of in the middle of nowhere, where it does feel like those things. It feels like that shit could just happen where, like most of the time you're in a city or somewhere, there's people always around or cameras always around, but there are certain places where like, poof, you're gone and I don't know if anyone's finding you. It's scary.
Yeah, and in that way, Montana is very much a character in the show.
Right.
It's a region that hasn't been overdone on television, and so it's got a very specific look with the mountains and the tall trees that some people will go their whole life without ever standing next to, and this idea of these open spaces where anything can lurk. There's not the same amount of infrastructure as there is in a place like California. It feels like anything can happen, and the series certainly takes advantage of that. The series itself is based on a book by C.J. Box. This is it's several books actually, but this first season approaches her or his first the one book called The Highway, and it does center around the abduction of these teenage girls that then reveals a larger operation that's afoot. And the actors in this are phenomenal. The two female leads, who are the actual leads in a lot of way, Kylie Bunbury and Catherine Winnick, are awesome. And I'm lucky enough to be in a love triangle with them at the start of the series. I don't know how I always get so lucky. But, the cool thing about this show is it's female driven, but it has a lot of attitude, a lot of balls, I guess, in some ways. But and David E. Kelly, man, the guy's career speaks for itself. He's made countless hit television shows and won countless awards, and it's really fun as an actor to perform that level of writing. You get the scripts and you get the dialogue changes, and he just has a different approach than your average standard TV writer, and And that's exciting when you get pages and you're like, this is really good, because a lot of times you're in a situation where you're like, this is okay.
So we were just reading a quote, and you can tell me if this is not true, because it was found on the internet and who knows, but it said that you're actually like pessimistic about a lot of the work that you've done. Like you think out of a lot of the movies you've done that only like a handful are truly good or great. Was that true?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
In what regard? Like,
I disagree. I haven't seen all your movies, but I disagree with all the ones I've seen. Maybe I've only seen the ones you think are good, but like
I hope so. Let's keep it that way. Don't dig any deeper. Like I want you to keep this.
You know what the most underrated one is? First of all, we got a couple here. Antitrust. You guys blew the lid off the whole thing. You had the company wrong, but you were ahead of the times on that one.
Yep.
And then
we tried to warn you about Bill Gates.
I was saying, I was like, it's not Bill Gates, but it's Bill Gates. Like it's in Seattle. And
no, it's 100% Bill Gates. A funny story about doing that movie was, Tim Robbins plays the Bill Gates bad guy character. Tim Robbins is like 8 feet tall.
Is he?
I'm like 5'9.5", 5'10".
Yeah, we'll give you 5'10". Round up, you're fine. 5'10".
We have to do a scene where we're walking on the beach together. Okay, so every beach has a natural grade, right? Yeah. This motherfucker makes me stand on the lower goddamn section, and I look like a midget. I look like I was a little person. And it was really embarrassing.
I think I remember this scene. Like his house is in the background, right? You're walking down the wall, and you can see his house. Yeah, I remember that. And I was like, "Fuck, that dude is little."
Help a brother out, dude. It was definitely done on purpose. I've had a couple situations where actors will definitely give you a little.
Have you really? You think that he was like, I'm gonna tower over this guy? I can see that shit going on the set, no doubt.
It happens.
And then we had Igby Goes Down. Igby Goes Down is one of my favorite movies of all time. That's a fucking
dude. Cool. That's a deep
right.
Pool.
That's a deep cut. He's like the only guy I've ever heard reference that movie.
I actually watched, because I went to like boarding school, so I actually watched like back to back for the first time. We did like Cruel Intentions, Igby Goes Down, and that was the crazy one about that was we were like, oh, Macaulay Culkin's little brother's in this, and then now Kieran's like the fucking guy in Succession and shit.
Yeah, man.
That cast is one of the more like that cast is a bomb squad cast.
That's what I was going to say, is that I've been lucky in that way, too, that even in the smaller, somewhat overlooked movies, the casts have been phenomenal. Like, that one had Jeff Goldblum and Susan Sarandon and like crazy people like Gore Vidal's in it playing a part. And, and then movies like Crash obviously had an insane cast. Gosford Park had an insane cast. Like, really like all-time groups of actors, and it's fun to be part of stuff like that. You really appreciate it as it's happening.
Going back and looking at Cruel Intentions, man, what a fucking trip that movie is. Holy shit, that's some wacky stuff, man. When you were making that, were you guys like, God damn, this is a weird or was it just like more normal at the time? I'm trying to figure out how that aged, because it was never normal, right? It was always weird as shit.
No, and I thought my parents were gonna disown me. And
really? So how old were you when you were shooting that?
23.
Okay.
But I grown up going to like Baptist school and like Christian school and stuff. So like my first role ever though, coming out of the Christian school when I was a senior in high school, I played the first gay character on a soap opera, first gay teenager ever. And so I was shunned at that point. So they were already out of the picture.
So you're like, fuck it, let's go all in.
Wait, they were really like, you're out?
Kind of, yes.
No shit.
Not so much. Yeah, kind of, definitely. Yeah, I mean, this was 1992, and I was playing a gay teenager, and I was in a Christian school. They weren't happy about it. But so when I was doing the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, the same producer had the script for Cruel Intentions, and I read the script in my trailer during the shoot. So we were near the end of shooting I Know What You Did Last Summer, and he's like, I want you to take a look at the script. He's like, it's kind of, it's a little risque or whatever. He's like, take a look at it.
Yeah, I'd say so, bud.
I was like, I remember walking out of the trailer and finding him. I'm like, are you guys really going to make this? And he said, yeah. And I was, I've still never played a character like that since. Like, I want to do, I'm dabbling in comedies here and there, and I do a lot of alt comedy stuff. Like I've been on the Eric Andre show twice, and I do MacGruber. We're going to do the MacGruber series this coming year. But I want to get back to playing a character like Sebastian in Cruel Intentions. It was just so fun to be so flippant and sort of, the
hand motions are
theatrical and
always
what's that?
The hand motions. Yeah, we're just waving people off. Like it was. Yeah. I rewatched it last night. I probably hadn't seen it in a few years, and it's fucking.
It's cool that it holds up, man. Yeah. A lot of times you take a movie from a specific point in time that's supposed to connect with, a younger crowd, and it just it stays. This movie somehow finds new fans all the time. They were going to do a series about Cruel Intentions, a TV series a year or so ago. There's like a musical out there that's really good, actually.
Wow, really?
They put it back in theaters for its 20th anniversary. That only happens like The Godfather.
Yeah, that's some cult classic shit. You think are on that level, though.
I mean, like, what level of responsibility are you willing to take for the whole fucking stepbrother, stepsister porn thing?
You guys, that's honestly so true. That's your goddamn fault, Ryan. This is ridiculous.
Wait a minute. You don't think that fantasy existed before Cruel Intentions?
You put it on the map.
Yeah.
You put it on the map.
You put it on the silver. It was talked about and behind closed doors, not on the silver screen.
How do I capitalize on that financially?
Yeah, for real. You got a bad agent.
You got to get in porn.
You got to talk. Yeah, you got to start. Oh, honestly, if you started shooting porn right now and you did a Cruel Intentions themed porn and you were in it, that's big. You started an OnlyFans.
Didn't Chris Brown just started an OnlyFans?
Oh, Chris Brown. I know Tyga did.
Yeah. What are these guys doing?
I can tell you right now with complete sincerity, I've seen Tyga's penis.
Yeah, I paid subscribed to Tyga. For those of you listening, Ryan just did a literal spit take. Just spit out his coffee. Yeah, no, he subscribes to his OnlyFans, and
I don't anymore. My subscription. I only did it for a month. I just wanted to see what he's posted on it. First picture, hard dick.
Sure, whatever you want to, however you want to make peace with it.
It's your life, dude. It's your life. Whatever, man. No, but he usually he shows his dick off a lot, but then also there was pictures of him just engaging in like wild orgies and shit, right? It was like a lot of.
Tyga's got a pretty good life.
Yeah,
What a weird time, man. I came from an era where you ran from the paparazzi. You tried to live as clandestine or private as you possibly could.
Not anymore.
Literally. Back when Reese and I had our first child, there was a bounty, a money bounty on those photographs to the point where we had people digging through our trash. I had like physical confrontations in my 20s with pop. Now these motherfuckers are just having sex on video.
Well, you know what? Isn't it kind of like they're gonna do it anyway, these fucking vultures. So why don't I make a subscription and make my money off? I mean, Tyga's making bank.
I think he makes like $2 million a month.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I just does anybody have any shame anymore?
No dignity.
Does morality even exist?
No,
what
sir.
do you tell your kids about this? I'm dealing. My son is a junior in high school this year, and I'm like having to contemplate the idea that like he's gonna probably be going to school with girls that have OnlyFans.
Yeah. Christ.
It's like, and then when kids get into dating and this and on the, it's just such a skewed, I don't know, reality,
You can't you can't relate. Like I can't be like when I was your age, this was happening because it's like yeah, Dad, I was doing that in like 4th grade, you pussy.
No, and how old are you?
I'm 36.
36?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, even 10 years, almost more than that. It's like I don't, and so you try to help them navigate this shit the best you can, but the stuff they're throwing at us, I don't think anybody has answers for.
I was even surprised. It wasn't even my child. I don't have any children, but like my girlfriend's she's about like 5 years younger than me, and she has friends who have OnlyFans. I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's
just like, normal girls who were just like, yeah, well, I need to make ends meet. Next thing you know, they're driving Porsches. It's nuts.
Like it's so casual.
What would be your number to start an OnlyFans, Ryan? How much you got to make a month? Everybody's got a number, bud.
Ultimately, I do. I think my number would be so ridiculous just because, thankfully, I've worked a long time in this industry. I'm doing okay.
Doing all right.
I think part part of what's happening with these music people is that they can't tour.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's a good point. That's a very
They're
good
not
point.
making money, man.
And they got a lifestyle to keep
pay
up.
you anything off of them streams.
No.
I don't care how many streams you got.
You got to get like 500 billion streams on Spotify to make like.
We had Luke Bryan on, and Luke Bryan was talking about like this massive hit, and he's like, "I got $300 for that."
And that's
something
Luke
insane.
fucking Bryan. So imagine some of these guys like
right, and we're looking at potentially another year of no touring, no concerts.
Did you see that shit Ticketmaster's doing? Where they're partnering with Clear. So like you know like the airport, the Clear thing.
Yeah.
And you probably fly private. But the
no, I don't. Dude, I'm not balling like that. I'm good, but I'm not that good.
private plane good is like.
Also, it's environmentally. It's not environmentally.
The carbon footprint over here. Okay, Ryan. Yeah.
But they're gonna have like Clear is gonna track your vaccinations so that like when you try and go into a concert venue, you have to do like an eye scan so they can see you've been vaccinated in the last year. And I was like, all that shit sounds a little
so
antitrust,
fun.
sounds a little fucking
that's
deep
a little
there.
dystopian future I don't want to fuck with. Yeah.
Honestly, who knows where we're going? I mean, you're seeing how draconian it's getting in Australia, New Zealand. You know, Europe is on the verge of imposing some of these rules that are. I just, you know, I'm very much an independent. I've been registered independent since I was 18 years old. Politically, and I just fear I do maybe lean a little libertarian. I just fear the loss of true freedom. I mean, we're experiencing it absolutely during this period where we can't travel anywhere and where we're not allowed to travel a lot of places. But just the scaling back of the censorship, even no matter which side you're aligned with, it freaks me the hell out that people can be snuffed out and voices can be quieted so easily by the powers that be. I mean, I don't know where the hell we're going.
I agree with that, but we were kind of talking about it yesterday where it's like, didn't we already do it? Like, didn't we just like when we started with phones, like, didn't we already give up our freedom? Didn't we give up our privacy?
They're already spying.
It's almost like I've drowned and now I'm just in the peaceful part where it's like, I know, like they're listening. They're doing fucking, they're tracking me. They're doing all that. And I just can't, I'm addicted to this. So I can't stop.
I'm staying at a friend's house in LA right now because I'm about to go to Utah to start a movie. And we were all sitting here night before last. Every one of our devices erupted at the same time. My watch, my phones, iPad, their phones, everything with a government emergency message,
Yeah.
And it's like the fact that they can make every single individual device go off at this. It's like, but wait, I had another thought or point about that. It's like the Carlin thing, the George Carlin, the illusion of freedom, the illusion of choice.
Mm-hmm.
That's really where we're living.
Right.
Yeah.
They make
right.
You think
you can pretend.
This was our hypothetical yesterday. If they come up with a vaccine, but in order to get it, you got to get like a chip put into you. One of those, these things they talk about, the government chips where they can track it. Would you do it?
I would definitely do a thorough amount of investigation.
You watch a 1 Minute Man.
Yeah, I'll give you the scoop.
But the other thing that I will say is there has to be some consideration. Well, so first of all, I'm hearing we have 330 million people in the U.S. I'm hearing it's going to take 3 to 4 doses.
Oof.
So they're going to have to choose a pecking order. They're going to have to start with the most at risk. So we'll see what happens to those people.
Let the guinea pigs go. All right, we got a couple more hypothetical questions for you. It's a game we play called Answer the Internet. These are all questions from our fans.
I know this.
You know it? Yeah. All right. So we're gonna dive into it.
I want to do it one time where I get to hold the cards and throw them.
Oh, come on in, man. If we can get you in person, we'll fly out to you. I don't know. We got to do it right. We'll do it now, but it really doesn't have the same luster as when you get to flip the cards around. You're right. We'll start off. We'll ease into it a little bit. Would you rather date a girl who laughs at everything or a girl who laughs at nothing?
Ooh. That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say everything because I'm a comedy nerd. Like I love to laugh. I love humor. So I guess although it would annoy the shit out of me.
See, you know what it is? It's annoying versus like ego. Like if she laughs at nothing, I'm gonna start to feel bad about myself. I'll deal with it being annoying, but you gotta laugh at me. Otherwise, I got nothing.
You gotta laugh.
You're pretty though. He's good looking. I don't know if I would, I gotta rely on my humor. You not so much. All right. Would you rather everyone in your girlfriend's office want to have sex with her or not want to have sex with her?
Ooh. I'm pretty confident, man. I'm gonna have to say I want them to want to have sex.
Yeah, good answer.
That is like you know you're gonna have to you're gonna have a couple of fights about it, but you're like still like I know where you're coming home to. It's coming home to
as long as she does. Yeah, I'd imagine she comes back to Ryan.
Yeah.
What is your number one karaoke song? You karaoke guy?
I am not. But if I were a karaoke guy, it'd probably be Big Pimpin'.
Yeah, Big Pimpin'.
I like it.
I can kill it.
You said that without even a smile. I love that.
Yeah,
You're just like Big
dead
Pimpin'.
serious.
I'll kill it. Fucking crush it.
You want to go viral, dude? Do that. Bam, you're all over the internet.
I freestyled on Sway in the Morning a few years back.
Really? Are we talking like
you can
freestyled
find it.
or
it's
like
out there on the internet?
Are we talking like true off the top or like a pre-style?
I mean, I had a couple things written down on my phone because I wanted to like relate them because I wanted it to tie in directly to my career. So I was like trying to tie in project names.
Yeah.
So I did write some stuff down, but it was a combo freestyle with some lines.
I'm looking that up as soon as we're done. That's fucking incredible.
But that's a brave ass thing to do.
Hell yeah.
As a 40-something-year-old white man.
Yeah, as a non-rapper. I mean, that's hard for actual rappers to do, let alone.
That's what he says, because I'm sort of friendly with him, and he's like, there are so many big name rappers who won't come in here and freestyle because they're afraid of falling on their face and then their career could be done.
Right.
He's like, a lot of dudes will not come in and do that.
Dude, doing that we used to do shows at Sirius sometimes, and there was one time we were sitting in the lobby, and Sway must have just thought I was somebody else.
Oh, it's just so funny.
And he came up and he dapped me up. And he's like, "Good to see you, baby. How you been?" And I was like, "Good, man, good." And he's like, "All right, man, stay good." And he walked out, and everyone was like, why the fuck did Sway just do that? And I was like, I don't know. I think he thought I was someone else, but it was the coolest I've ever felt. Yeah. And
you look like you could be a Stern Show staffer.
What the fuck is that, Ryan? You look like you could get Howard Stern's coffee. I thought that was going somewhere else. Like, you look like you could be
a movie star.
I don't know, someone's assistant, I guess.
I love it.
I'm just trying to think about it from Sway's perspective. I'm trying to think about how Sway saw you.
Incredible. Would you rather always be hard or never be able to get hard again?
I mean, come on, bro. I thought you guys would have better ones.
I mean, listen, you're not thinking this through, man. You got to go to like your kid's school function.
I am 100% thinking this through. If you can never get hard, your life is over. You're done. You're a unit. It's
like, you ever heard of that uptuck, bro? Yeah, I'm thinking it through.
Right in my waistband.
I'll tuck it up or strap it to my leg or whatever I gotta do. But
all right. Then
gotta get the job done.
We'll up the ante a little bit. You have a choice between a sum of money and world peace. How much money would it have to take for you to say no to the world peace?
There isn't enough, honestly.
Oh, fuck off.
See, but that's because you're already good. Like, I got my sum's
It's a
pretty
little
low.
bit of wealth privilege. It's a little bit of wealth privilege, yes. But honestly, how could you live with yourself and your money if you negated the possibility of providing world peace? Like, I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror.
It's not
like,
a bad
how
point.
are you going to enjoy what you have if you know that, like, children are being bombed in the Middle East? And
well,
it's not a bad point. Like, I'd probably end up super depressed and suicidal within a few months. No.
See, that's the thing. I think if you make the money choice, you're gonna end up killing yourself.
Yeah, because like, I mean, everything you see on the news, you're like, I could have stopped that.
Yeah, but I'll donate like some of my hundreds of trillions.
Live with that.
Listen, I'll donate $1 trillion to the kids getting bombed, and I've got like $100 trillion left over. We can make it work.
That's one of the better answers I've heard, because I don't think anyone's ever been like, how do you live with yourself?
money does not create peace, and we've seen this throughout history. In fact, it often deep. You could dump that trillion in, but who's in control of it, and is it actually going to get to who needs it?
All right. Well, how about this then? Can you go to your barber if he's very racist?
Let's say, I'll tell you.
And look, let me show you the animation here on the card. It's just, but let's say he gives you the cut that, like, you're on movie sets and you look great. Everyone's like, oh damn, he's got great hair. He's awesome at it. And all you got to do is go in there and just kind of turn your ears off for half an hour. You're not doing it.
All right, I'll start here. Like, okay, I grew up in a lower middle class area. Wilmington, Delaware is where I was born. I grew up mostly around Black people and minorities. So it's very ingrained the way that into how I see the world. So it's just like a non-starter for me. I remember one time I was out with one of the hottest girls I'd ever been out with in my life. And she dropped the first racist statement was sort of, you couldn't really define it. And I was willing to let that one go. The second one, no matter how hot she was, the second time something came out of her mouth that was along those lines, I was out. So the other part to this question is I have a weird shaped head. And even when I have somebody gives me a good haircut, the next time invariably they'll give me a fuck me up fam. So I don't think that anybody is gonna deliver consistently enough for me to put up with their hate.
Let me do a couple more here. Marry, fuck, kill. The hottest girl from your high school back in the day, your hottest teacher, or the hottest of your friends' moms? Marry, fuck, kill. Oh. You asked for it. You started talking shit, so marry, fuck, kill.
The hottest girl from my high school now is closing in on 50 years old, so I'm screwed.
Yeah, your hottest teacher's probably dead.
Yeah.
and I don't really like older women.
Let's say, okay, you know what though? Let's say you get them in your prime. We'll play a little magical version of it.
Okay,
here.
all right. Okay.
And everyone's of age. Everyone's they are legal and they are in their prime.
Okay, then it would be hottest girl in high school. Marry hottest teacher and kill my friend's mom.
Wow, that's gonna lead to some awkward conversations at the playground. Like, yo, dude, yeah, I killed your mom, but I fucked Bethany. Like, that's pretty sick, right?
All right, last one here.
All the better roses.
Last one here. We usually ask this to like non-celebrities, but I think it's gonna be interesting coming from someone who's a celebrity themselves. Who is the hottest celebrity you think you could get with if you got in a room with them and they got a chance to know you? Come on!
Hell nah.
Give me your name,
dude. I'll answer almost anything. It's too inside baseball.
Yeah.
You know, like, the ramifications. I see why you asked this of non-celebrities because it's like pie in the sky. It's oh, that's my hall pass. Okay,
you could actually do it. That's also the thing.
How many people you think you're listed on as their hall pass? Over, under?
Yeah, that's a great question.
20,000.
You are a very big hall pass. Yes, you are, sir.
They tell me on in my notifications on Twitter and stuff, like guys will tell me that I'm their wife's hall pass. I'm like, why do you want me to like try to
yo, bro, please fuck my wife
down?
Maybe, by the way,
a lot. Here's something that I get told a lot, which is admittedly pretty sexy. I'll meet girls and they'll tell me that Cruel Intentions was the first thing they ever masturbated to.
Whoa.
And I've heard that maybe 100 times. And that's pretty rad. That's pretty rad.
I mean, and so you've had sex with all those girls, right? I mean, that's instant.
I didn't say they were all attractive.
Dude,
but you could have with every single one of those girls who says that to you, you know it's there if you want. Yeah. That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Speaking of good feelings, I do have to pay you an exceptionally high compliment. Shooter is one of my favorite shows. I actually rewatched it really recently. And the reason I got into it is because I have a buddy who's a Marine. And he's fucking insufferable to watch, like war movies with or anything with combat. Because he's like, that's not how it would work. That's not how it would work. That's not how it would work. And then he texted me, I don't know, 2 years ago, whatever it was, 3 years ago. And he's like, bro, you got to watch Shooter. Phillippe does everything perfect. And I was like, really? And he's like, it's the only show I could talk to him about that involves combat or war or whatever, where he thinks everything's done accurately.
There's almost nothing that you can be told that is more of a compliment in regards to doing that kind of work when you're playing a military person and you put time and effort into making it look like you know what you're doing, to the point where even between seasons of Shooter, we would go out to Utah and work with a Force Recon Marine and do live fire drills. Omar and I, they would put like real weapons with real ammo in them, and we're running around doing fire drills in Utah. We worked so hard. And the cool thing about that project is we had so many, I have a ton of friends in the service. A lot of my family is served. I do a lot of work with veterans charities. All that stuff's very close to my heart. So I put extra effort into making sure all that stuff is done right. But on that show, we actually had half of the crew were veterans, you know, so our prop guy was ex-Marine, you know, and on down the line. And it was cool to also, you know, give those people work within the industry and give them a chance at a second career. But it also means that anytime you have a question or you're worried about what tactical approach to take here, there's someone there to give you that answer. And man, we put a lot into getting that stuff right, to the point where I got to, by the end of my training, I was hitting a 12-inch steel target from 7/8 of a mile away.
What?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You were like Bob Lee Swagger himself.
Yeah.
That's
so I have legit ability in that regard. I had to work at it, but I remember the first time they took me to the range at Camp Pendleton, I was on this range with a bunch of USMC snipers, and I was dinging targets, and they were like, "Oh, really good, right? You're going really good." Like, they were kind of
beginner's luck over there. Yeah. Holy shit.
But yeah, man, like it's the craziest thing about hitting a target at that distance is how long it takes to get there. So you fire, and you're waiting a good 1-2 seconds before you hear that ding.
Wow.
And it's a great feeling when yeah.
Dude,
I love that kind of training.
Dude, that's gotta be like, forget about like hitting a good golf shot or like hitting like fucking a 3-pointer from deep. Dinging a target from 4,500 feet away or some shit has got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, and because then you apply it to real world scenarios where you're just like, you know, the angel of death. You know, like you're hitting. You can take something out from a mile away, like you're God.
Yeah, they don't know what happened. You just wiped off the planet. See you later. That's crazy, man. All right, well, listen to this. Is awesome. Really appreciate the time. Big Sky is out. It's on ABC. What's the
on ABC 10 o'clock Tuesday after The Bachelorette.
Ooh, that's a good lead-in. That's a good lead-in. That's a big audience, man.
Big spot.
Looking forward to it, man, and really appreciate all the time.
Yeah, let's do this again, guys.
Yeah, would love to. Anytime you want, man. Have a good one, all right?
Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Later.
See you later.
Bye.
I'm gonna hit you with a little YouTube sabermetrics, okay? Only 15% of people who watch the videos on the KFC Radio channel are actually subscribed. That means,
you fucking lurkers. I'm
right?
tired. Yeah,
free,
I'm tired
85%
of lurkers.
freeloaders.
Retweet, like, fucking heart on Instagram.
Rate, review, subscribe.
If you enjoy content, double tap it.
Literally,
double tap to subscribe.
Just click. It doesn't. I think you only have to click it once, not even double.
Well, okay,
just one click.
I'm not a mathematician. Just a one click works.
Because I don't want. If you double click, you might subscribe and then unsubscribe.
Oh, true.
So just one click.
3 clicks.
3 clicks to subscribe, because otherwise, I mean, it literally doesn't affect you at all, and it will basically make our careers so much better.
Oh,
Please
so much better.
Do it.
Oh, you'll get us so good.
Please.
You'll get us going
Come on.
85% of you.
Don't be poor.
Triple tap. The thing. The subscribe thing.
Smash that button, as they say.